May 2nd, 2011, Abbottabad, Pakistan. 3,521 days after the towers fell, the most wanted man on Earth finally eats 2 rounds. In the same week, they dumped his body in the ocean. Silver crashed 30% in 4 days. I was already out. I've been in this trade for 1 year. This is the story of how... December 2001. Tora Bora, 100 CIA, 300 Special Forces. Moving up a mountain in December toward a man who just killed 3,000 people and was now hiding in a hole. Beautiful country. Damn shame we bombed the hell out of it. September 11th just handed America 9 more years of war and $2 trillion in debt. The dollar was going to get printed into oblivion to pay for a war with no end in sight. Somewhere in those caves, the man responsible for all of it. The CIA requested a blocking force. Rangers, 1,000 of them. Seal the passes into Pakistan. Cut off every exit. Request denied. Rumsfeld, Franks, eyes already on Iraq. I had him in the glass at 1,325 meters. Figures moving at the cave entrances, all of them about to have a very bad night. The B-52s came in at altitude. You don't hear them coming, you only hear what they leave behind. Mostly silence and regret. Theirs, not mine, of course. 688,000 pounds of ordnance. 5 days, killed a couple hundred of them. The man we actually wanted was already putting on his traveling shoes. Should have waited. Shouldn't have gone down at all with what we had. Typical command and their infinite wisdom. 6 of us climbed towards the cave complex, the smoke still rising, some of them still alive. In retrospect, this was not our best plan. We had worse ones later. Incoming fire from the caves, good old faithful AK-47s and their familiar clatter. It was like a lullaby to my ears. By this point, I couldn't sleep without it. As it turns out, 688,000 pounds of ordnance doesn't always finish the conversation. So we pulled back. Nobody dead. Remarkable given the general standard of the planning. Still, poor old Fitzy might never walk again. Above us, figures shifted in the darkness, one taller than the rest, moving through the pass toward Pakistan. No blocking force, no rangers, just an open corridor, and a man walking through it, like he owned the place. Osama Bin Laden. We won't be going home, boys. Just as well I like the stifling heat and barren landscape. Yeah, right. Picked up the radio. Gonzo to command. Negative. Target not confirmed. Over. And then I stood there in the dark. Bin Laden escaped on December 15th, 2001. Through the passes nobody blocked. Into Pakistan. Into 9 more years of nothing. Still, there is always a silver lining. The dollar was going to keep getting printed. To pay for a war with no end in sight. Silver prices, dollar weakness. Silver prices, geopolitical fear. Both were now running hot. I bought silver at $4.52. The thesis was simple. As long as the war runs, the trade runs. What could possibly go wrong? Kandahar, southern Afghanistan, 2006, year 5. Silver sitting at $11.64, up from $4.52. $78,000 in pure profit on a $50,000 seed. Planted while Bin Laden was still warm in Tora Bora, funded by the spoils of Desert Storm. Kuwait. I came home with $50,000 and a very flexible interpretation of what constitutes a souvenir. 5 years in and I was still rotting in the same goddamn desert, different province, same war. The Taliban we supposedly crushed in 2001. We're back like cockroaches with better PR. Bin Laden, the whole reason we were here, still a ghost somewhere laughing at us. And silver just kept climbing anyway, like it knew something the generals didn't. The analysts called it range-bound. Cute. That's what they call patience when they've never waited for anything longer than their morning coffee. Patience isn't passive, soldiers. It's the most violent thing a trader does, sitting still while everyone else is chasing noise and blowing their accounts to hell. I waited, while mortars dropped, while they shot at me, while the thesis quietly got fat. Same headline every week, different font. Taliban resurgent, province contested, blah blah blah. Still waiting for the damn signal. They always come, usually right after you've stopped believing they will. The roads were the real enemy. Every road in Kandahar was a question mark with teeth. Every culvert a potential coffin. You learn to read the dirt like a chart. Fresh tracks, wires where they shouldn't be. Silence where there should be noise. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not. 1 second it's a convoy, next second it's scrap metal and a very expensive lesson in why you shouldn't ever get comfortable. Welcome to Kandahar. Population, whoever the hell survived today. I stood there coughing in the smoke, barely breathing but still standing, somehow. Still holding the position. Sometimes patience costs you something real, some skin, a little piece of your mind. No big deal. You pay it anyway, because not having the thesis costs everything. The market doesn't give a damn about your new truck either. Then the market blew up. Nothing to do with the war. Nothing to do with the thesis. Lehman Brothers. Financial crisis. Silver had run from $4.52 all the way to $21. The position worth over $200,000. Then it went to 9 in 8 months. Margin calls, stop-outs, every rotten cent gone. Sound thesis, shaky risk management. The market wiped me out harder than any rebel force could. Here's the lesson nobody teaches you. Even when you're completely right, a black swan doesn't care. The market doesn't reward just being right. It rewards being right with enough capital left to stay in the game. I had the thesis. I didn't have the protection. I came back with rules, position sizing, stop losses. Never again without rules. Lesson learned. The hardest damn way possible. 2010. Still in Afghanistan. Different operation. Same wretched war. Silver had recovered, the thesis reasserting itself. And for the first time in 9 years, a real signal. Silver at $19. A courier makes one stupid phone call. CIA finds the compound. I hit the buy button the same week. Not because silver was cheap, because the dollar was weak. QE running hot. Fear still the only currency that mattered. And I wanted to be in before the smell got strong. Most traders look for the entry. I was standing in it. Had been standing in it since 2001. Fell out of it in 2008. Climbed back in 2010. My goddamn legs were tired. 9 years in, Kunar province. The war had no interest in ending. The market had no interest in pricing reality. So I did it for them. The dollar still weak. The fear still running. The thesis still intact. And somewhere in Pakistan, the man responsible for all of it, still breathing, despite my best goddamn effort. Price what others won't. Wait for everyone else to catch up. Try not to get shot while you're waiting. 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Contact. East, west, everywhere at once. The thing about a firefight, it has a thesis too. You stay while the reason is valid. You leave when it isn't. Most people stay too long. In a firefight, that gets you killed. In a trade, it just costs you money. Which in some markets is the same thing. The market doesn't care what you're doing. It doesn't wait. It just moves, like the mountains, like a sandstorm in the goddamn desert. The position ran while rounds were coming in, decisions in the calm, execution in the chaos. That's the whole system. Anyone who tells you different is selling something. Phone rings in the middle of the firefight.
Silver broke 25. Size up?
Already did.
When?
August. After the courier.
Is that? Are you in contact?
Background noise. Call me when it hits 30. He called back as requested. I didn't answer. I had more pressing matters to attend to. Clinical, crosshairs, target, trigger. Same as a trade. Thesis, entry, exit. Everything else is background noise. One pays better. The other is more exciting. I hate to advocate for either, but they've always worked for me. Helicopter in. 2 wounded. Nobody dead. The valley unchanged. The thesis unchanged. Another day at the goddamn office. The thesis doesn't care about the noise. Size it correctly before contact. Then let it run. The market doesn't know you're busy. It doesn't give a damn. That's not a criticism. That's why I love it. May 1st, 2011. Jalalabad. Modified Black Hawks lift dark. No lights, no permission. Silver at $48.46. All-time record. 9 years, 40 minutes. Nobody talks before a mission like this. Nothing left to say. Everything already decided. You don't think at the entry. You planned it, you execute it. Then you get the hell out of the way. Same as a trade. The helicopters lifted without running lights. Silent. Heading northeast. The last time I knew exactly where Bin Laden was. He was trotting off through a pass at Tora Bora on horseback. December 2001. 9 years later, and finally some goddamn progress. 40 minutes of flight. Pakistan below. Particular silence of a mission that either works perfectly or creates an international incident. No plan B, at least not one anyone was sharing with me. The now infamous compound just 3 miles from Pakistan's military academy. And inside, the man responsible for all of it, walking circles in the garden like it was a goddamn Tuesday picnic. The breach took seconds. First floor, second floor, third floor. 9 years of hunting, 40 minutes of executing. That ratio should tell you everything about the importance of patience in war and in trading. Third floor, narrow corridor, bare concrete, built by a man who knew someone was coming eventually. Perhaps thought eventually was further away than this. Catastrophe is always closer than you think. There he was at last, tall in frame and in infamy. 9 goddamn years, 3,521 days, 40 minutes. Some thesis resolutions are anticlimactic, as sure as shit wasn't. I stood outside the compound just as dawn began to break. I called my broker, as you do. Close the position. Trust me, just do it. Gonzo out. I know what you're thinking. There is a fine line between insider trading and a carefully crafted exit strategy. I've nothing else to say about it. The thesis had concluded. The trade was over. And damn if it wasn't beautiful. Justice. That's what the headline said. Screen 2. Silver peaked at $48.46. Crashed 30% in 4 days. $6 in 15 minutes when Sunday futures opened. The fear premium that built the entire move evaporated the second his body hit the water. The CME raised margins 5 times in 9 days. Every leveraged long position in silver suddenly underwater. The exit door smaller on the way out than it was on the way in. As it always is. Screen 3, entry 19, exit 46. 1 year, 1 trade. Not bad for a man who spent most of it being shot to hell. The phone rings. I let it ring. Twice. Out of spite, mostly. My broker already hungry for the next one. There will be another war. Next time, it might be oil. It might be gold. One thing is certain. There will be an opportunity. But only for those with eyes to see. Once the fairy tale is over and you see the rotten core of the world for what it is, you start seeing tragedy as a market position. It's enough to make a man drink. Not that I need any excuses. The thesis is the trade, not the chart, not the momentum, not the broker crying on the phone while you're being shot at. The thesis. Define it before you enter. Hold it while it's true. Exit the moment it dies. I got it right in 2001. Got wiped out in 2008 by a black swan. Came back in 2010, smaller, tighter, with stricter rules. For more trading tactics from the trenches, join the ranks today. Stay small, stay disciplined, and for God's sake, stay liquid. Gonzo out.